Hey, welcome back to the Baco Motorsports Power Hour. I'm Mike Griffith, Bakersfield, Californian motorsports rider. We are in the Bakersfield Speedway segment. I've got Scott Schweitzer in. How you doing, Scott?
Good, Mike.
Had a pretty good week, a pretty big weekend out there at the Speedway last weekend. Probably the biggest fundraiser of the year. The Racing for Ronald night. It was the fourth annual one. They ended up raising $13,400, I think.
What a great night.
Which is beats they had a little over 10,000 last year.
And the staggering statistic to look at is Sadie posted up on a post that in over 4 years, in the 4 years that we've been doing this, over $80,000 have been raised. And that's just amazing to think. And we got to thank all the community and the race fans and the people that have, always ever been a part of the Racing for Ronald deal, and it just keeps growing and growing, and we're able to keep that money locally here in Bakersfield and help a lot of people. So it's fantastic to be a part of.
And I don't know how many tickets were sold for the car. They gave away an American stock. They gave away last year, but the person decided to take the cash instead of the car. So this year there's no deal. You take the car, and of all things, Candy Varney, who runs in the Mod Lights, won the car. So she came out in her fire suit, and they talked her into driving. And she'd never been in American stock, and she ran around the back of the pack for a while, then left the track, I guess, to do something. Then came back out and made a few more laps.
I talked to Tim yesterday, and he said they just wanted to shake it down. Car has been sitting for a while because it wasn't given away last year. But she bought one ticket. Last year she bought quite a bit. This year she bought one ticket, and it was that one ticket that did it. $10. She got a race car for $10.
So there you go for everybody that thinks you've got to pad the stuff, and she buys one ticket and wins.
Yeah, absolutely, and she plans on racing it. I think she's going to race it Friday night at Kern, and she's talking our next race, the Mike Mosier Classics American Stocks, and Tim said she's planning on bringing it out. So I mean. That's cool.
And that's what JR Motorsports built the car for.
Absolutely.
To be raced. To give it away and be raced. Raise money and for somebody to race it. And it's an easy way to get into racing if you've got a race car.
$10.
$10.
She got into it. But
that's kind of amazing.
I mean, that's the perfect scenario is someone buys a ticket for $10, wins a car, and then they turn right around and start racing it. So, I mean, that's awesome. Happy for the Varney family and Candy especially, and happy for Racing for Ronald, the Hill family, and everybody that put all the time and effort and work into that deal, and it paid off to be a great Saturday night.
And I don't think she wasn't talking like she was going to let Tim race that car.
Nope, I don't think Tim's going to be in it.
No, the seat's not going to fit.
No, he said they're ordering a new full containment seat for Candy, and she's going to run it. So I'm excited.
Good for her.
Yeah, I'm excited to have the car out.
And another American stock, which
absolutely.
is always good.
Yeah,
and
she's going to love it.
It's the best looking American stock at this time of the season because it's brand new.
That's what I thought when they pulled it out on the track. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's going to dent up that beautiful body. But no, it's cool. And I guarantee you she's going to have a great time racing American stock. Yeah. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, some pretty good racing out there during the night. 3 wide here, which is pretty typical of a IMC modified race.
Yeah, those IMCA modifieds, they get around there pretty good. And, you'll see them 3 wide, 4 wide. It's some good racing.
Good racing there. Getting to be a familiar name in Victory Lane, Cody Laney. He got out front. When he got out front, he was the class of the field on Saturday night.
He's getting prepared for the Super Nationals to go back to Boone, Iowa with that new car. And obviously the new car's working well. It's got that Rage chassis right where he wants it and stuck it in Victory Lane Saturday night. So I'm sure they'll put it away now or get close to get ready to put it away and start making the trip back there.
Now I think he said that's his second race in that car. The first one he kind of had to figure it out. It wasn't because it worked differently than he's used to.
Something he's different. And the amazing thing too is, I mean, the car looks like it's still brand new. It doesn't have a single dent in it, so that's super cool. So
that may change at the Super Nationals.
Yeah, excited for Cody, and wish him luck when he gets back there because anybody from Bakersfield that goes back to the Super Nationals, we got. Hoping for him well. Yeah,
and then real quick, Brad Pounds was second, and Scott Pounds, who actually had his car for sale on Facebook, brought it out there, still has it, and made a bunch of changes to it, and ran third, so he's got to be happy with that. Brett Bennett fourth, and Justin Schweitzer finished fifth there. So, get that. And then I think we had IMCA stock car action where we once again had a pretty good field, and nobody got tore up, which Troy Pate mentioned in the interviews afterwards. It was a much better night than a couple weeks ago when he won, but there were only like 4 or 5 cars running. So Mike Hill Jr. with a good win there in the IMCA stock cars. And like to see that. He's a happy man there, and good for him because he and Sadie did a lot of work on racing for Ronald Knight. So somebody that puts in that much effort for racing in general to win, that's a good deal.
Yeah, and I think he answered all the questions. Do they race the boss, and do they give him an easy go, because Mike owns a few of those cars out there, and he had to come from mid pack, and he earned it. So it was a great.
You gotta like that. I did not update this. Mike Hill Jr., Troy Pate, Tyler Johnson, James Elliott, and Matt Brunley. Those were actually hobby stock drivers in there. So cut and paste, and I did not cut and paste on that one. That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
We had Mod Lights out there, and another good field of Mod Lights, and we talked about this last week. We'd like to see them out there in a really good race. Zach Forrester shows up. I guess he fired Colby Lewis if third place wasn't good enough. But you come out there, Anthony Balcazar got his first win a week and a half ago. Comes back, wins the very next race, 2 in a row. And we talked about that.
We talked about it.
You said it wasn't going to be his last.
No, this kid is a great driver, and we just knew it was a matter of time. And once he did break through, we knew it wouldn't be the last time. And here he was again, 2 in a row. It's the first time I think we ran the Mod Lights 2 weekends in a row. But a great showing by them and a great race. And I didn't even know that Zach was in the 11 car. And I'm like, dang, Colby Lewis is just he's burning it up. He's true athlete. He's picking this up pretty darn good.
Because Zach started at the back. I think he's give everybody, because he doesn't want to go out there and make it so nobody can win. So, because let's face it, he's got a lot of experience.
Yeah.
He's driving late models and whatnot, and he can pretty much have his way when he's on in those Mod Lights. And he started at the back, and then he just took his time and picked his way to the front, and he was all over Anthony at the end, and he didn't push the issue though. He didn't do anything to move him out of the way, and he was right there on him at the finish of the race. It was
close, half a car length.
A car length.
But I think the guy we need to keep an eye on is the third place car, the number 99 Phil Barrow. He's an ex late model racer that used to race late models at the Speedway, and it's now got him a Mod Light, and I think we'll be seeing him in the top half of the ladder quite a bit.
And this may be a thing where these late models, let's face it, they're expensive cars. You still want to race these Mod Lights. They look like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the good thing about them is, they're not really tearing them up. They're a good bunch of guys, tight-knit group of guys that are racing the division, and they're not getting the cars torn up.
There's a dozen of them that help each other work on their cars, so you don't want to tear up your car or your buddy's car.
And there's also some big racing in Arizona or different places that they can go with these cars and hit some big money races. So good division. We're happy to get it started here in Bakersfield in California, so looking forward to seeing what the future holds for them.
And there we have. There's we were talking about this earlier. Candy Varney and the $10 ticket that paid off, and she won that car and just happened to be racing Mod Lights, so she had all her safety equipment, could hop into it and take it for a test drive, so to speak, out there in the American Stock Race.
$10. That is so cool that she won a turnkey race car for $10.
Yeah, because I know there were people that were buying the 10 tickets for $100 and getting 2 free.
Yeah, there was a lot of them out there, and they had a big push and a lot of tickets sold, so it was cool.
And here's a guy that ended up in Victory Lane. How'd this happen? Brody Schweitzer.
Well, Brody's we've been waiting on a motor. Brody broke a motor back, and I think it was like April or May, and he's got some college requirements he's been messing with, and finally got his motor back, and he was able to put it in Victory Lane. And I got to wish him a happy birthday. Today's his birthday, 22 years old today, and we just had breakfast together, and so pretty proud of him.
There's a good deal, and I think early on he had some heating issues, didn't he? Because the motor mounts and the fan was flexing toward the radiator, and so it looks like he gets out there and wasn't maybe not going to be able to race.
Typical, the plumber's house has got the worst plumbing. The painter's house needs to be painting. Well, the guy that owns the racetrack doesn't have time to work on race cars. So, we thrash last minute, getting his car together and putting it back together and getting him ready. And like I said, he's working full time and he's in college. So we thrashed and we missed a few things, but he was able to persevere and get the win.
Well, good for him. And then Cody Johnson in the 11 car comes home second. Brandon Ratcliffe third, Gary Spiller Jr. fourth, and Tyler Johnson fifth. And Tyler was winning everything earlier in the season, so little parity starting to show its head there.
Yeah, and he's driving more divisions now. We see him in the IMCA stock cars now, so Tyler's really getting some seat time in some different divisions.
I must mention the IMCA stock car race. He fell out. He got a flat tire with 2 laps to go, and Mike Hill had said that he had nothing for Tyler in that race.
It won't be long.
There were like 4 flat tires in that race. It's one of those nights.
Just and you have those. I mean, it wasn't debris in the track. It was just one of those. The track was a little heavy, and the guys can drive it in real hard. And I don't know if that was rolling cars off the beat or tires off the beat or what.
And a couple of mini dwarf shots here from Tom Mock. That's a Jet Yantis, and he ended up winning the junior mini dwarf race. And then, of course, Jacob Carey there in the 2, and he ended up winning the senior mini dwarf race. And they came out of the woodwork in the junior mini dwarfs because you had about 19 of them, so you had to run a B main.
Yeah, we haven't had a B main in them in a while, so we weren't really prepared for that, and ended up having to add them in there. But it was good to see. You know, those are future drivers. I mean, those are the guys that we're looking at in the Mod Lights are ex mini dwarf drivers.
Yeah.
So that's
Anthony
the plan.
Balcazar won, senior mini dwarf races.
Yeah, or Ethan Dotson.
It's
one of our top California racers in the A mods and's racing back in Iowa right now, and ex mini dwarf guy. So
there
it works.
you go. So good deal for them. And then this Saturday night, you've got the late models, right? Or
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we've been on the phone
can.
talking to a few. So, it's like I said, it's a struggling class. And hopefully, we'll get a couple of more out there this time and see what we can do with the division and help the division grow. We're talking about some rule changes and different things that might help the class. So.
Because you got the late models, sport mods, hobby stocks, IMCA stocks, mini stocks, and hard tops. And you were pretty candid last race. You weren't happy because there were just a handful of late models, I think 4 or 5 late models. And here you are, a track promoter, trying to have these cars, to give them a place to race, and then they don't show up. And there's cars that are sitting there that could be raced.
Yeah.
They're not there. And I know you were talking about maybe we don't run late models, but you've decided to give them another chance here.
And I understand. I mean, I talked to some of the racers, and they have other commitments or different things, broken parts and traveling stuff and stuff like that. But the bottom line is we're selling entertainment. And, we advertise late models are here in town, and we get a small field of them. I mean, that hurts the customer, the person that's paying that ticket coming through the front gate. And ultimately it comes back to us as track owners. So we got to look at those things and see what we can do. So, but talk to a few, we're going to get a couple of more, some first timers. So I decided to stick it out one more time, and we'll see after this race. And I know I got another one in September, and we'll talk to some more racers and see what we can do. And if not, maybe we'll schedule something else. I mean, we'll just kind of see how the weekend goes.
Kind of play it by ear and see if there's the support for the class.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tough deal.
And a future, yeah.
And a future, because those are expensive.
And then we got the Bud Nationals right around the corner, which is a big event. So, it's a tough call,
Okay. I want to thank you for coming in.
You bet.
And thanks for giving these guys another chance. And it's up to them. Hey, late model drivers, ball's in your court. So we'll be back in another few minutes with another segment of the Baco Motorsports Power Hour.